No. We're filming, dickhead.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay. So ever since I had my midlife crisis and, you know, going balding, and I thought I'd go with the other balding hero, Chane. I think he's the strongest hero in the format. Briar is another thing and might eventually be sorted out. But Chane, on the other hand, I don't think they're ever going to touch. This is my Arcane Chane list. It runs basically no non-attack actions and just revolves around the Galaxxi Black. So no Rosetta. And I've cleaned up every single locals with this coming first. So we'll go on to the equipment first. We've got Skullcap. And we've got Tunic. The Husk is there if you are, you just want to play a Husk, but usually I just play Tunic, and I use Tunic into basically every game. It's extra resources, it's an extra swing. It comes up a lot over this. Plus, now that we don't have, we can't go super full aggro anymore, you don't need Husk. Husk usually ends up killing you if you play Husk. Then we have the Galaxxi Black. We don't play Rosetta Thorn. You need this, and the reason why is because if this hits, then it deals an Arcane and turns on all your Arcane attacks. Then we have Crown of Dichotomy, your Nullroom Boots for Wizard, because we still respect Wizard. It's Wizard. Wizard still destroys everyone in the format. And Snapdragon Scalers and our Grasp the Arknight. Yeah, so kind of fairly, alright. I think it's 8 cards. And then we have a 54 card main deck. And this is just all your attack actions, everything you want to run every single game. And then you've got your side here for all the extra things that you want to run, depending on the matchup. Usually you are playing just 60, but you might be playing a bit more than 60, because this is a slow roll Arcane Chane list, where you're not shackling every single turn, you kind of slow roll the entire game. So, of course, you've got your Soul Reaping, and then you've got your Blood Debt package. It's 15 Blood Debt cards. So you got your Rifting Torment, amazing to turn on your all your arcane effects, like your Pierce the Shadow Vice, and Rip Through Reality. This card's amazing in this deck. It swings 6 for 2, and the amount of extra momentum this does. So if they don't choose to block the arcane off an attack, like if you just create a rune chant, they have to still block with 2 cards all up to get through this. This is always leaking 1 damage. Of course, Rip Through Reality, it's amazing. Then you have your Shadow of Urza's and 3 Inverted Existence. This is amazing, especially when it goes into the late game. Of course, you can get 2 of them, or you can get 1 of them. The card's absolutely cracked. Turns on all your arcane, turns on your Rip Through Realities, turns on your Piercing Shadow Vice. So that's your Blood Debt package. You don't care about not seeing them mill too much, just because it's just there for extra momentum. Your hero ability, during the mid game, just becomes you can play Blood Debt cards from your banish zone, and you're usually just sitting on 3 or 4 until you need to start pushing, and that's if they're trying to slow roll you. All right, so the Arcane package, we have 3 red and 3 blue of Spellblade Strike. This is 1 for 5, 1 Arcane. This is 3 separate instances of cards they have to block, because it comes in for 4 and then creates the 1 Arcane. You've got the Spellblade Assaults, the same deal, but this creates 2 instead. You've got your Sting of Sorcery, Singeing Steelblade. We only run in red because 4 for 1 and then deals the 1 there. Usually you want to set up the Arcane, and then you can swing with the Arcane and a weapon on the next turn, or something along the lines of turn something on. Vexing Malice in red and in blue, because this card says you win late game. And then we've got our on-hit arcane damage effects. So you've got your red meet and greets, you've got your red consuming volitions, and then you've got your blue ones. You can change these for these if you want. Personally, I prefer these because people need to block this format, so usually hitting with this is better than hitting with the blue version of this. Yeah, and the go again and all that's amazing on this. 2 Morphine Skies. in blue, and then 3 Stinger Sorcery in blue. This is interchangeable. You can play 3 of this or 3 of this. But you have because we run the 1 Soul Reaping, you need this to this has to stay at 5. And that's like the only non-attack action cards you play in your main deck. And then for some cheesy cards, you've got 3 Sigil of Suffering. I prefer it in blue, but if you want to screw with your opponent, you put 2 yellows in there and then they have to think they have to play around the blue. But usually you just play the blue versions. I just can't find them anywhere. Alright, now onto the side. One thing you probably noticed, Art of War is in your side. You're not using it every single game. There's like Oldhim and all that. This comes in. You want to go into it like really, really slow. And on top of that, you don't have all the Bounding Demigons. You don't have your, like a Bounding Demagon. You don't have Riftbind, and you don't have Unhallowed Rites. And that's mainly because, and that's why this is mainly inside, because all your big attacks cost 2. And you kind of just want to like use this for extra momentum if you need it. You got your Command and Conquers for Prism, and you've got the Amplify the Archknights. Usually I do put this in the main because you are creating Rune Chants. That means this comes in for 1. So like if you create 2, it comes in for 1. It swings for 1, swings for 6. Cost 1, swings 6, deal 2 Arcane. It's amazing. And then we've got our big Oldhim package. So usually you are playing the Command and Conquers against Oldhim, but you've also got your Dimensional Crossroads, which is amazing. You have to play this if you're versing Oldhim because they hate that extra chip damage. And then you
can also use these for Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo as well. Like if you're versing a slow roll deck, you put these in.
Maybe even Katsu too.
Yeah, yeah, Katsu sometimes they like to go really quick, but if you can afford to play a little bit slower, that you put these in.
Yeah.
And then your Shadow Puppetry as well. It's inside because this is in here because you do play slowly. Usually you want to put in your arsenal and then play it so you don't have to shackle that turn. And then you've got your Sink Belows because they're defense reactions. So you can put it up against Briar, you can put it up against Rhinar still, and just set them in your arsenal and you're all good. And yeah, that's the deck. I've torn literally every single local up with this, killing Briars, killing Oldhims, killing Lexis, killing everything with this deck. It's the sleeper deck that I've always been sitting on, waiting for someone to make a deck of this and go to a Nationals. But I think the only time I saw it was at UK Nats. The EU Nats, and they didn't come first. This is the strongest deck of the format. It's just that the reason why it's the strongest is because Briar brings every other deck down that can compete with Chane. Like you've got your Prisons and all that. Like Prism and all that will destroy this deck, but yeah. That's it for the deck profile. I will... sorry I don't play Rhino anymore because LSS doesn't want me to. Peace.